So let's get into the Charlotte game then, Dave.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I was a little drowsy while I watched that game, and the game didn't help my afternoon excitement about it. What was your take on the Charlotte game, which, the first half, it seemed like, it was at least actually pretty decent game to watch.
We dominated,
played pretty well, right?
We outshot them 10-2 in the first half.
Yeah.
10-2. First of all, 10 is a lot of shots in a half,
Yep.
right? And 10-2 is a dominating statistic on the road.
When's the last
against the Charlotte team that's supposed to be really amongst the top 5 or 6 teams in the league?
I'd be interested to see how that compares to first halves of Pineda in terms of like shots on just shots.
We never got shots.
Yeah, we did.
We got expected goals that didn't come with shots. And that's one of the things where I often disagree with the computer. They can give an expected goal or whatever if there's a chance in the box that nobody ever even gets a shot off. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that may not have expected a goal if you didn't get a shot. Right? Or it's blocked or whatever. Anyway.
In the New York game, I think we had 10 shots, seven on frame.
Yeah, you know how many shots on goal they had?
They had 5 or 2.
I think it's 0.
Oh, you're right. They did have
0.
They had 0.
They didn't have a shot on goal.
In the first half?
No, game.
Red Bulls had 0 on
0.
target.
They had one good chance. They had one good chance, but it wasn't on goal. The guy skied it over from the 6-yard box. I don't think Guzan made a save in the whole game.
Jeez, okay.
0. So, again, because Pineda would be like, oh, we're unlucky. We had dominated. They would get up the field, and they would get a goal. But first thing they would do is get a shot on goal to get a goal, right? Yeah. And we did give up, you might say it's similar because we dominated. They got up the field a little bit, but they didn't get up the field very much. And we didn't give up a shot on goal. So that is also very different.
Yeah, very.
So the Charlotte starting lineup, do you recall who we came out with?
Yes. I mean, so the thing that was surprising was Click was not in the starting lineup, and people were like, what? And it turned out he was sick.
Yeah,
he had a cold. But other than that, it was so Fortune played for him instead of Miyamba, who actually played for him in the second game against Red Bulls.
So why didn't he play in the second game?
Yeah, is he still sick?
I feel like he's back. He was on the bench. I'm going to guess that he had a pretty nasty cold. Okay. They said that he even even had the flu. Okay. And I think he's back, but maybe not, still a little feeling it.
Got it.
Yeah. Didn't make it into the practices as much as
Yeah. So I think it's fine. No problem. And that'll help him. He's not a young guy at the end of the season. A little fewer games early on is no problem. But the rest of the team has been the same, as Zach saying, Guzan in goal. And you had actually in the first game, because there was no Amador yet, we had the double nightmare that is Abram and Williams on the same side.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So and if you're gonna notice where things happen, it's on the double nightmare side. We'll get to that. But anyway, so Abram was playing left back. And to be fair to Abram, he's not a left back, so he's playing out of position, but he's not good and he's not a left back. So that's double bad on the double nightmare side.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
And then Gregerson in the middle and Edwards on the right, and the young player making basically his third game.
Making young mistakes, which we'll get to.
We'll get to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then the double pivot, in this case, it was Fortune and Sleaze instead of Click and Sleaze, the Polish pivot.
Well, look at you coming up with all the names.
Yeah. Well, no, that's Mikey Dallas.
I coined that while you were gone.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going with it all the time. Polish pivot. It's awesome. And then the Miranchuk, Almiron, Saba, and Latte Lath.
Yeah.
It picks itself.
Yep.
So that was the lineup.
And what's your weakest link so far in because we've had to play without Lennon. We're playing Edwards. We've got to play with Williams. I'm assuming those two are on your list.
The nightmare backside, left backside. Abram and Williams was awful.
But Abram was out of necessity, right? So
as soon as Amador came back, he started and played the whole game, basically. So, I mean, Ronnie Dyler was like, I've seen enough of that also. So he made a change. And Amador, I mean, to say that was an upgrade in the Red Bulls game, if anybody watched the left back in Charlotte versus the left back in against Red Bulls, I mean, it was night and day.
I know you're going to critique Edwards in the first or second goal of the Charlotte game here, as you'll get to
Second goal.
Him mistiming, stepping up, and the ball going down the line behind him. I do think, me recalling the first half, him marking Zaha, he did a terrific job in the first half of putting a lot of pressure on him, winning individual duels with
You want to hear
Zaha?
my note at halftime?
So good first half for Edwards, correct?
My note at halftime was, as bad as Edwards was in week 1, he was absolutely dominating Zaha defensively.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. When is the last time we've had an outside back who can dominate with their defense?
Well, especially, I mean, that's the
Never, maybe.
I was about to say, I'm like,
but that's the upside about Edwards, which I've seen from. I mean, he's a young player.
Was terrific.
To play against a other physical player like Zaha, who I mean, that takes some chops to go up against him, and I think he did a fantastic job.
In the 27th minute, they had a great cross from Charlotte, but Edwards was actually tracking on the far post, unlike Lennon, and he ran it right out for over the touch. I mean,
and
playing defense.
Then I think Zaha got in his face, and he got back in his face. I was like,
I
love it.
Zaha he was so frustrated because he was marking the heck out of him. Zaha actually shoved him into the advertising boards, and then he got up and got in his face.
He did.
He was like, bring that EPL stuff. I got you.
I loved it.
But then Zaha came in the second half.
I mean, but
well, to be fair though, but Zaha in the second half didn't really beat Edwards. It was as we'll see on the two goals that we're about to talk about. Both were on the exact same play. Their right back was under so much pressure, just aimlessly booted up the ball.
You want to pull it up?
Which is going to come. And so I'm gonna go over it, right? So in the 49th minute, it was actually early in the second half. Charlotte just boots the ball up the field. Are we going to do the second one first, Carmen?
I don't know.
Let's go to the second one first, actually.
Okay.
So in the 53rd minute.
That is the second one,
which was another aimless clearance, right? So in this one, we actually had, I can't remember whether it was a free kick or a corner, but we had a set piece way up in their end. And that's why everybody was forward. So there was no Gregerson. He was up the field or whatever. And so they left Edwards back, right? So Edwards actually was pretty far from the guy out wide. He was playing pretty loose, which was not great to begin with. But we had so much pressure after we didn't win the initial, we didn't score off the initial corner or free kick. I think it was a corner. But anyway, we had so much pressure that we won the ball back in, and then they won it again. And we had so much pressure on them that they just hoofed the ball up the field. I mean, it was just like anywhere will do, okay? And Edwards, oh my goodness. I mean, he just showed how young he is. He went, stopped, then ran, and he literally, the ball just bounces right over his head.
Where'd you go?
Yeah. And this actually, in my opinion, is not so much bad defending. It's just young and a little panicky.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
all you had to do is something.
So we just won the wall back. We play forward. They win it, and he's under
far
pressure.
Corner, he's like, hoof, see ya.
Yeah, he just kicks it aimlessly to nobody. He's too far off. And then, it goes right over his head. Now, stop it. Okay? Because here's the second problem. Right? So, on this play, I mean, Sleece does an amazing job of getting back and covering it. Right? So,
Sleece is on the ball.
Yeah, I think he's covering for it.
Okay.
There is a pretty weak shot right at Guzan, and he doesn't catch it. He doesn't palm it out of danger. He just kind of knocks it down right to Zaha. And this, honestly, I mean, I don't know if you'd absolutely say it's Guzan's fault, but it's awful goalkeeping, and he failed to bail us out.
Yeah. All right, let's see
the
it
clip
here. Yeah, that's pretty ping-pongy.
Oh.
And it's not even a great shot by Zaha.
So he could have pushed that over. He could have caught that because it wasn't hit that hard, but he just boinged it up in the air straight out front. Yeah, that's poor.
It was poor.
I mean,
especially in a situation like that, Guzan's usually way better.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of his strength, right?
And they're going to show it again. Here's the miss. Oh, Edwards, that was awful. But Sleece does a beautiful job covering him behind him.
Fantastic.
Gregerson busted all the way back. And it was only, so,
why is Guzan hitting that back into the center where he could have completely done, many other directions?
It was not good. And so people would say, Edwards lost Zaha. I mean, a number of people saying that, Zaha got the best of Edwards. No, he didn't. I mean, Zaha was on the far side. Yeah. Edwards actually went for the ball, and he was on the other side because it was he was the one guy back for the corner. So, and if it hadn't been palmed by Guzan right back to Zaha, then he never would have scored. Okay. So let's go to the other one. Maybe, Carmen, you can pull up the other clip because we might as well just do them at the same time. It's almost the exact same thing. Charlotte's in the 49th minute in their own corner. Again, hoofed it up the field like anywhere will do.
Sorry, which minute did you say?
49th minute.
We're going back. Okay. Oh,
backwards.
Big hump, as you said.
Yeah. And Williams judges it poorly, can only glance a header backwards. And that allows Zaha to run at Gregerson. And here's where this is just really unlucky.
I don't think we're sharing this.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
So this is where it's really, really unlucky. Sleaze does another beautiful job of getting back. And what he's going to do is he's going to poke the ball away, Sleaze is, and he pokes it right to the Charlotte player who otherwise would have been offside, right? And that's why he's in on goal.
Does this look right? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Here comes Sleaze all the way back, and he's the one who pokes it to the guy.
Oh, unlucky. That's unlucky.
And I believe, they'll show it again, I think. I believe if you watch that, when he pokes it, I think he would have been offside if he had just played it there. But because it was off of Sleaze, then it's off of our own. Right? Yeah. Here's where they're about to kick it up. Boom, he just hoofs it up the field. Missed that header, which was awful. That was Williams. Right, then he comes back in, and right at this second, he's off.
Yeah.
He would have been off. Like
I mean, why is he heading that back into the middle? Like, play it off the back of your head, out of bounds or something.
Yeah, Williams. So that ball, if you go back a little bit to where it was kicked in the corner, Carmen. So see if you can freeze it right before he kicks it out of his own corner.
Back before the hump.
You can go all the way back.
Hump?
Yeah, they see the hump. Yeah,
right
there we go. Okay. Love the hump. Oh, I went a little too far.
Yeah, you're okay. Let it run.
Just let it run. I got it.
All right.
So right here where he's about to kick it, right? So he kicks that under pressure just aimlessly from his own 18.
Yeah.
Okay? And watch how far the ball travels.
That's a boomer, like, rec league. Kick it out of the back.
Yeah, he was under pressure, and he just anywhere will do. But with the ball that high in the air from that far back, as a center back in MLS, you cannot misjudge it and head it backwards, right? Watch this go in the air, right? You can count it. It's like up, 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 right? You can't. I mean, that's just misjudged and poorly. He heads it backwards, right? Yep. I mean, again, do I blame Williams as the main thing on that? No. I think ultimately, actually, the defending here was not too bad. It was just really unlucky that Sleaze actually got back and poked it right to the offside guy.
I mean, he created danger for our own team. He's a boomer ball. Like I said, all you had to do is like play it off the back of his head, like get it outside. But instead, he plays it right into the center where there's two Charlotte guys running down the center.
I mean, you can see now he has no choice but to head it backwards at this point, but it's because he reacted late.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. If you read it really quickly and reacted, he should have been back and heading it forward. Yep. Right. Now, our defense is very aggressive up the field, right? And so that's something that we have to get used to a little bit. But at the end of the day, so one of the things I want to say, I mean, this is my comeback to those who think that we are not better than the Pineda era. Okay? One of the things that I used to criticize the heck out of, and you guys were there, so you can verify this, right? So I used to criticize the heck out of it, is we would give up those counterattack goals, right? Or we'd give up goals, and many, many times, nobody got beat. Right? They would either have a counterattack and Williams would be backing up and the guy would cut across the middle and just score, or there would be a cross out wide where we left him out wide, they played it out wide, they had all day to serve, they would serve it in and the guy would just win the header. Okay? That is not what happened here. Okay? So first of all, right, Williams, hit the header, and then even after that happened, him and Gregerson were both back. Sleaze got back in, right, and it was only an unlucky deflection that went to the open guy. Nobody got beat.
Totally. different goals we're giving.
I mean,
completely different.
What I say is we did get beat as opposed to previously where nobody got beat. Okay. And really the same thing you can absolutely say on goal number 2. So there, Edwards absolutely misjudges a ball.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So he did get beat because it was a terrible misjudge of the ball. Yeah. Right. And then even after that, right, Guzan could have bailed him out, and so gone are the days where we would let them up the field. Nobody actually got a challenge in. Nobody was close and got beat, and then they would score. Mm-hmm. That is not the case. We had a guy on both times, and they misplayed the ball. I mean, Williams and Edwards really misplayed those balls. But
now I can't recall in the Charlotte. We don't need to go to the replay, but what was our best chance or two in that Charlotte game to score?
Can I say one more thing about it defensively first?
Yeah.
So no. I started this by saying that it was the dreaded nightmare left side. Okay, left side. All right. So if you notice, we just played 2 clips. Okay. Who is our left back?
Amador?
No, not in this game.
Your favorite.
Who is our left back?
Is it
Abram? Abram is the left back. Did we talk about Abram?
We did
in the
not.
Charlotte game, no.
No, he was supposed to be our left back.
I thought he only started in the first game, but he was in the second game.
No,
too,
in the second. No. This is the first game.
No,
against Charlotte.
That's the second game of the season.
Oh, but I mean the first game that we're talking about.
Right. No. Right. I mean, I thought he only played in the first game of the season.
No. He started this game at left back.
All right.
Okay. So in the first game he played center back and Hernandez played left back, but in this game Hernandez was out and it was Abram who played left back and it was Williams who came in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we didn't talk about Abram, right, Carmen? Did I say anything about Abram yet?
We did not.
No.
Not
Why?
in this game.
So where is Abram? Now, obviously, the one that's on the corner kick, he was up for the corner kick, right? But the other one was actually in live play, right? And both of them came on a long ball from their right corner to our left back.
Okay.
Where's our left back? Does anybody wondered what Abram did on those plays? So I wondered. And I was like, so I know we're aggressive. So Abram was like up the field. I'm like, okay, so maybe he's up the field and they played it over him. Okay. So in the first goal, Abram is up the field. Okay. But he fails to track at all. He's jogging back. And you know who scores?
Who scores, Dave Katz?
The guy who started right next to Abram.
Uh-oh. That's not cool.
Yeah.
So, was it his fault when all those other things happened? No. Did he fail to track his guy?
Could he have made a difference?
Absolutely, yes. Right?
And he's a defensive line guy, so if he's up, he should be getting his butt back.
Yes. So on the second goal, where let's see. Sorry, I missed my notes. So in the second goal, he also fails to chase back, right?
You had Sleece mark the ball after Edwards let it go by him. And said
Sleece comes flying back. Gregerson, you saw, made it all the way back into the play.
He's back in the middle.
But no Abram.
Nobody else is in the picture.
In both cases, it wasn't he got beat, but in one case, it was his guy who he was right next to at the start of the play, who he never tracked. Mm-hmm. And in the other case, it wasn't his guy, but he never got back to track either. So when I said there was a left combination, what I meant was Williams heading the ball backwards, bad, and Abram failing to track his guy, bad, double combination. That's what I mean.
Gotcha. All right.
So in the second game, we have Amador. And if you notice, when we have Amador, how many long balls that we get over our heads did we give up goals?
So what about the positive, Dave?
Yes.
What about goal scoring opportunities? What were the good things you saw on the attack?
I mean, I saw lots of good things on the attack, right?
Do tell.
So,
and why didn't it lead to goals?
I will give you. You want me to start with my take on why we're not scoring, or do you want me to go over the actual offensive awesome things that we saw first?
Do that first.
Okay.
Charlotte offensive stuff first.
Okay.
That's awesome.
11th minute. Latte Loth gets a through ball from Almiron. He cuts it back twice, and 2 defenders fall over. Yeah. I mean, he made them look so silly. Now, the third guy did come back and slide and block it, and he maybe took a little too long. But, oh, my goodness, is he good on the ball.
Yeah.
Right? Because most of the time when you get one-on-one, you get the cutback or whatever, you make the defender fall over, he's going to score.
Right. Okay.
So that's also awesome. 17th minute, everybody's criticizing our designated player, Miranchuk. He had an amazing one-touch slip ball to Almiron at the top of the box, who walked in and then just slammed it into the goalkeeper. Now, Almiron is not really a finisher. He tends to do that sometimes. He hits the post a lot. He hits the goalkeeper a lot. So that's, not so great. In the 33rd minute, we had a ball that we played backwards to Guzan. Everybody's like, oh, we shouldn't play backwards, right? There's all this critique. And even Ronnie Dyla said, oh, we play backwards too much. We played the ball backwards, and then we proceeded to put on a combination of 11 consecutive passes that ended up in their 6-yard box. Ooh. If we had scored that goal, I mean, the goalkeeper made a save. Yeah. It would have been the goal of the season. I mean, it was unbelievable.
I recall.
It was absolutely stunning, right? 39th minute, Saba out wide with a great move. He hits a cross. It gets deflected. Latte Loss is first to react to it and absolutely hammers a volley that did go about 2 or 3 yards over, but
that thing was like
he
a
went
missile
backwards and hit a missile.
That was impressive.
Right? I mean, how many times did we see that from our friend Miguel Berry?
You just had to mention him. You just had to piss off.
How many times did we see that from
Marseille?
Well, anyway.
Where did you say he got traded to?
Where did he go? Columbus, yeah.
Which, who, by the way, is doing better than we're expecting.
They're doing much better. 42nd minute, Saba and I can't remember who else it was. We're combining on the break down the left. I think it was Amador. No, because he wasn't in this game. I forget who it was. Anyway, it was Saba and Almiron, because Almiron came across and they forced it. It was a beautiful combination. Almiron saved again from close range. Sleaze wins it right back at the top of the box. I mean, this guy's poking the ball at our own 18, and he's winning the ball at the top of the box. So people who are like, oh, Sleaze isn't that good, he didn't deserve to be on the team. When you put him at the defensive, because last year when Pineda started messing with him, like playing him in attacking midfield, which he has no business to play, and he was kind of going up and down, it wasn't so good.
Okay, all right.
But at defensive midfield, he was amazing, and he still pops up. He wins the ball right back. He gets it to Saba, and he has a great chance that he actually shot it to the far post. It was going in. The goalkeeper was completely beaten, and the defender cleared it off.
Okay.
So, again, people want to say...
So how many shots do we have total and on target in this Charlotte game?
I only got the stats at halftime, so I don't know. Okay. Maybe Carmen can look it up for us, total shots in the game.
Total stats.
We were 10-2 at halftime.
Wow. And
people are saying, oh, yeah, but we had a terrible second half, and it is true. The second half was not nearly as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say, now I can say we can go to the Red Bulls game first, but if you want me to tell you what is wrong with our offense, I can tell you.
So total 10, so we didn't get any shots in the second half?
No, we have 15 to 10.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So I had it back.
We outshot them 15-10 on the road against the best defensive team in all of MLS.
Only 3 on target, and
we had
5.
58% possession to their 42nd, which a lot was after they got the lead, but still.